I think it's pretty clear that Momo's gonna have a really important role in Wano. He's one of the few remaining descendants of the Kozuki clan, the son of the legendary Chad himself, Odin, and next in line to be Shogun. But right now, Momo isn't looking too good. He's nervous, and he seems really underwhelming. In his current state, he probably won't be able to do much. He seems more like a figurehead, and I think he has potential to be more than what we currently see. So for today's video, I want to discuss what Momo might do during Wano, how he might get the power to do these things, and then I'll end it off with discussing his role in the story after Wano's wrapped up and finished. The basis for these ideas are not mine, but I'm going to try to expand on them and put my own twist on each idea. As always, timestamps are down below if you want to skip around, and let's get right into it. In his current state and base form, Momo probably won't be able to do much. And that leads to our first theory, which is that Momo will somehow grow older. I honestly think it's an overall solid theory, but I have a few problems with it that I'll get to in a little bit. In my opinion, the best part about this theory is that it would allow Momo to use the Ame no Habakiri, which is of course one of the swords that cut Kaido. I would hate for the sword to be introduced and then sidelined for the rest of the arc, and him growing older would be a perfect chance to use it to either kill Orochi and Kanjuro or cut Kaido. It of course wouldn't be a major cut to Kaido, but it would be something noticeable, earn the respect of some people, and show that he truly is Odin's son. Some minor issues with this are that Momo being older wouldn't mean that he's also more skillful and masterful with swords or his devil fruit abilities, so part of me feels like getting his age boosted wouldn't help too much. Also, getting his age boosted would kind of make it feel like he's not achieving these things with his own strength and he needs someone else's help to make these things happen. Even with these minor issues, I still think it could be implemented in a great way. However, my main issue with this is who would do this? Bonnie's currently in Marijoa, and I would much rather have Bonnie collaborate with the Revolutionary Army and go against the world government, and her coming to Wano out of nowhere would just be weird from a storytelling perspective. I've seen some say Toki might do this, but we haven't seen anything that shows or implies that Toki has this power. I would much rather have Toki be dead now, and her being the one that taught Yamato everything that Yamato knows. Yamato might even have Toki's devil fruit, so maybe it would work out that way, but Yamato having Toki's fruit is complete speculation, and all it is a cool idea. Momo has a very interesting power that is often overlooked but is super OP, and that's to control Zunisha. He has a really weird connection with the giant elephant. If you don't remember, during Zou, Momo was able to look through Zunisha's eyes and see Jack attacking it. Now, Luffy somewhat had a connection with the elephant as well, but all he was able to do was hear the elephant. Momo was actually able to give it orders, see through its eyes, and hear it, so it kind of went a step further. This is a power that's unique to Momo, and it's often overlooked when people think about what Momo would be able to do during Wano. Zunisha is legitimately super strong, and with just one swing of its tusk, it was able to one-shot Jack, who's a Yonko commander, and not a weak one at that. He's very powerful. After finding out about his abilities, Momo decided to stay behind for a while and learn about his powers with Zunisha, so maybe he's more masterful of this ability and it will be expanded on a bit more during this arc. He might not even use this power in Wano. It could be that after Wano opens up, Momo gives Zunisha a new order to protect Wano. This power might even connect to other animals as well, not regular animals but giant ones that are similar to Zunisha. We haven't really seen any giant animals other than Zunisha, but I feel like Oda could introduce more if he really wanted to, and it's a cool idea that I just wanted to throw out there for now. The war is obviously happening on Onigashima, and Onigashima is currently floating over Wano, and if Kaido is defeated, the whole entire island will fall on the people of Wano. So the next theory I want to talk about is that Momo will lift all of Onigashima and save the people of Wano. I think this is my favorite theory for Wano because it would mirror what Odin did for the Scabbards, but with all of Onigashima. This would be a great way for Momo to live up to his father's legend and prove himself to the people of Wano. A couple chapters ago, Oda showed a panel where CP0 members were talking about Momo's devil fruit, and I think this was for a reason. His fruit has a lot more to it than what meets the eye, and I think we'll see a lot more of it in the arc. The main problem with this would be Momo getting the power he needs for it. If he tried right now, he most definitely would fail because he can't use his fruit to that proficiency. So how would he get the power to do this incredible feat? Well, I don't think it would have anything to do with him growing older, but instead it would have to do with his mental state. He also doesn't have to completely stop the island from falling, but holding the island or just slowing it down while everyone gets saved would be enough. The people fighting Kaido that we usually rely on like Law, Luffy, and Kid probably won't be able to stop a falling island or save the people after fighting 2 Yonko. So this is when the Grand Fleet would come in, and all of them working with Momo would save the day. When Oda talked about Momo's devil fruit a few chapters ago, he also mentioned that Vegapunk did this using Kaido's bloodline elements. Before I continue, I just want to say that this part of the theory is very crazy and really weird. That's why I added it at the end. I haven't really thought it through. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think it could be implemented into the story if Oda does it correctly. Anyway, what if Oda brought this up because a part of Kaido is now in Momo, and in order to use his devil fruit to its fullest extent, the devil's spirit, which is partly Kaido's, has to allow him. And if we go back to chapter 973, Kaido wanted Momo to become his own person and stop trying to become what everyone else wants him to be. I think this has a lot to do with Momo's future and his will, so I'll expand on it in the next part of this video. But for now, I think it's clear that Momo doesn't have a dream of his own, and that's something that Kaido realized. Since we're already on the topic, I'll just use this as a segue to discuss what Momo's going to do once the war is finished. There are two ways that I can see this playing out, and I really don't know which one I like better. They both sound great, and it can be implemented in an amazing way. I think I'll start with Momo being the Shogun of Wano. Momo might be young and not mature enough to rule a whole country, but I think the things he faced in his life have caused him to mature faster than a regular child would. And in the places where he's lacking, the Scabbards are there for him, and they will do their best to help him make the right decisions. He's clearly different from his dad, so I don't think he has to mirror him and explore the world. Plus, he's already gone outside of Wano and seen some of the outside world. And for anything he has not seen, he can just look at his father's logbook, which I think he'll get at the end of Wano. Odin's logbook could end up having the opposite effect on Momo, so I'll be bringing that up in the next part of the theory as well. And an interesting idea that I haven't seen is his sister Hiyori being the one that wants to go explore the outside world. She hasn't left in the past 20 years, and I'm sure she wants to go see what the rest of the world has to offer. I think we can all agree that Wano is going to open up after this arc is all wrapped up. Momo leaving Wano would risk him making the same mistake that his father did, leaving Wano at risk and not being there to protect it and struggle with his people if someone evades. You might be wondering, how would a little kid be able to protect Wano? Well, he controls Zunisha, who's a giant elephant that is super strong. I think it's really likely that the Minks end up relocating to Wano once the war is over, and Zunisha would just protect Wano instead of roaming the earth. The Scabbards, Minks, and Zunisha together would be more than enough to stop anyone trying to invade. So the other thing that Momo could do after the war is all done and finished is leave Wano and explore the rest of the world just like his father did. If Momo leaves Wano, Hiyori would become the next shogun, and that's something that I definitely wouldn't mind. She has struggled with the people, has actually lived in the country, and is old enough to rule. If Momo's going to leave Wano, he'd most likely leave with the Straw Hats and basically be a cabin boy just like Shanks and Buggy were for Roger's crew. In my mind, the only thing that would change Momo's mind and make him leave Wano is Yamato. We already know that Yamato's dream is to leave Wano, and this can very well affect Momo as well. Whether they both join the Straw Hats, go their separate ways, or work together and do their own thing while being a part of the Grand Fleet. Momo would also be able to learn a lot from each individual Straw Hat. He'd be able to learn leadership from Luffy, swordsmanship from Zoro, zone fruit control from Chopper, and finally the history of his country from Robin. It would be a great learning experience for Momo, and if he gets enough character development this arc, I think he'd be a great member in the crew. But anyway, that's going to be it for today, guys. Please let me know what you think, and if you made it this far, thank you for watching.